So these are the new banners. As usual, here's a disclaimer. In general, pull for the character that you will enjoy having. Now, if you like all characters equally or you are rather indifferent toward them, then in this video I try to provide as much information as I can to help you with your decision making on whether you want to pull on a banner or not. Alright, my criteria for evaluating characters include both their combat power, their ease of play, and their team flexibility. Also, my ranking will range from bad to decent to good, and rarely will give a character an amazing or awesome rating. Let me give you exactly what you're here for right now. This is a quick reference infographic that I've created for the 5.2 Phase 2 banner. This infographic is available at high quality in my Discord. The link to join my Discord is in the description of the video. You can join my Discord to find the infographic on previous banner, or at the time when I'm making this video, the Chaska banner that's still on right now. Now, if you want to hear me explain more and yap more about these banners, stick around the video. Neuv is good plus. He is so close to being awesome, but in general, I give more weight to support characters rather than main DPS characters. He is as good as we can get in terms of DPS. His main strength is easy to play. His playstyle is very mobile friendly. He holds a button and he has a big AoE to wash down enemy. He wants to build HP. He's quite tanky and he heals himself. So a lot of quality of life tacked into one main DPS character, and he has good damage too, even when in single target situation. So if you're looking for a DPS that can carry you through the abyss, he's your guy. Now, Neuv also has some cool quality of life when exploring in the overworld. He can hover when he's charging up and when he's unleashing his charged attack, and people can go over the water with it, people can go up slanted hill with it. It's pretty cool. Zhongli, in my book, he's a good minus character. So good plus is better than good, and good is better than good minus. He can be slotted into many teams, but never the best in slot often for damage. Though, he's a very good option for comfort because of his tech shield. Now, if you are not a tryhard, if you just want to play the game to relax and not have to dodge too much, Zhongli is your guy. He's gonna improve quality of life so much. Even as a tryhard like me, sometimes I just want to play the game in the more brain dead way and not have to worry about the enemy attack. He's your guy. He's comfy. He has a tech shield and a tech butt, if you're into that. Zhongli does have the perk of being able to mine rocks extremely quickly. So if you're a Minecraft role player, yeah, he's your guy. Contemplating if you should get his C1 Neuv. Actually, okay, I'm gonna go through all the 4-star first, and then I'm gonna go back to Neuv and talk about his weapon and some of his early constellation, because he's popular enough that people may consider pulling for a weapon or constellation on him, even for free-to-play people. 4-star Yao Yao, she is decent minus. She's a defensive dendro option to slot in Kiching's team, Seto's team, or any dendro team in general that you want a defensive option. But she's not doing much other than just healing. She gives a 15% dendro damage bonus, so I guess she could be used in something like our Hatem's team, but she's never the best option because Cookie Shinobu is a healer option that also wants to play with dendro and just straight up outclass Yao Yao. Yao Yao's constellation doesn't matter much. It increases mostly her quality of life in playing. She's decent minus. She's still a healer option, so she's nice, and healers can play for, you know. Fischl is good, and she becomes good plus at C6. Fischl is so versatile. She can be used in many team comps. She can be used without much energy recharge, even as a solo electro character. Even better, she serves as a battery because her R's being on field regenerates so much energy. It's often a net positive energy gain for her to be in the team rather than a net negative like other electro character. And Fischl especially shines in reaction team, especially aggravate team, because if someone's driving her, then her R's can attack a lot more from her ascension passive. She's doing coordinated attack from off field and trigger a lot more aggravate, contributing to damage on the team. She does not have any supportive capability, she just have humongous damage and energy generation. And lastly, Hazel. He's been gone for more than 1 year. He's finally back on the banner, so the people who are wanting to collect Hazel for their collection can finally collect Hazel. Though regarding his combat power, he is decent plus when played as a support. He is a knockoff Sucrose. He's a Nemo character that uses a Catalyst, who can also use Throwing Tales of Dragon Slayer, but he doesn't offer as much utility as Sucrose. He doesn't offer as much elemental mastery sharing as Sucrose. So while Sucrose is a good character, Hazel is a decent plus character. Regarding Hazel main DPS playstyle here, I did try to quickly calculate it. In his best team possible, with Faruzan C6, with Bennett, with Furina, he is doing 350,000 damage per rotation, about 20-second rotation when he's doing 2 of his skill. Each of his skill doing about 100,000 damage. Meanwhile, let's compare that to another C6 4-star DPS, Garmin. In the team of Bennett, Furina, and Sucrose, he's doing 1 million damage per rotation, 3 times as much damage as Hazel. So no, he's not a good DPS option. Alright, Neuv. Neuv is such a popular character and such a strong character that people may consider pulling for constellation on him. So let's talk about his constellation and/or weapon. Because nowadays the weapon is costing as much as 1 constellation because the fate point is only 1. So it is a valid option to consider. We can look at 3 kinds of Neuv team. First, a Neuv team that does not have Furina, then a Neuv team that has Furina, and then his best team possible. There we go. That is the increase from these options. If you're already a player that buys a battle pass very often, then signature is only about a 20% increase from his sacrificial jet R5. I should type in here R5, 6R1, similar for the rest. But if you're using prototype Amber or any just straight up HP option, maybe you are using the Ash Graven Drinking Horn that is similar to prototype Amber, then the increase is about 40%. That's a huge increase for a signature weapon. For comparison, Constellation 1 is a 24% increase if he's in a team with Furina. But C1 is offering something else. C1 is offering increase his interruption resistance while he's doing his hydro pump. And before this, at C0, he is susceptible to being interrupted during his pump and he would lose out a big chunk of damage. So this is a huge quality of life improvement for Neuv that does not want to play with a shield, or if you're already playing him with a shield from C0, then C1 signifies that you no longer need to play with a shielder and now can slot in another buffer for his damage to increase. Even if you do not have double hydro with Furina option, C1 opens up a lot of flexibility in team making. So we can slot in a double Geo team and benefit from the Geo Resonance. We can slot in a niche double Cryo team and benefit from Cryo Resonance. And in general, the flexibility in team making is really nice when there's a particular abyss or hard game content that requires us to break a particular enemy's type of shield. Then we'll have a lot of room to mess around with teammates for Neuv. So it depends on the kind of team that you make with him. The damage improvement on him is somewhere between from 0% to 24%. What is the conclusion that we can draw from this? His weapon is a huge improvement if you are only using free-to-play option for him, giving a whopping 40% improvement. 146, 139, 137. Whilst his C1, when you're using him in a team with Furina, is giving 24% improvement. But his C1 will open up a lot more team making options, not requiring a shielder, and a lot more comfy to play. So that decision is up to you. Where the girls frontline gameplay? Where's the waifus? Not today, Danny. We are on Genshin today. Alright, so with that in mind, what are the values of these banners as a whole? Neuv banner as a whole is good, minus. Fischl and Hazel are kind of so-so partner for Neuv, mainly because Hazel can offer the Viridescent Venerer set debuffing for Neuv, and Fischl is an okay option as an off-field and trigger one of Neuv's passive. They're so-so. They're not best in slot option. But what is strong about this banner is that just Neuv and Fischl carrying the banners on their back. And with the Zhongli banner, once again, there is no synergy whatsoever between these units. This banner as a whole, it's decent plus. But if you like Zhongli, you like Zhongli, go ahead and pull him. If you like to feel comfy while playing game, he's comfy. And hopefully when you pull on these things, you can get any character of a collection if you want and get a lot of Fischl constellation, which is good for many accounts in general. We continue with the weapon banner for this. Tome of the Eternal Flow, which is Neuv's weapon, is obviously his best in slot weapon option. It's a whopping 40% increase over a free-to-play option for him and about 20% increase over Sacrificial Jet. So if you're a frequent battle pass buyer, this weapon may be losing out its value. Now this weapon for general uses, good minus for any catalyst DPS because it has high crit damage substat. It does have a passive where it increases charge attack damage when HP increases or decreases. So that's gonna bump it up to good for any main DPS catalyst that can make use of that passive. That would include Risley. That also includes Wanderer, Yanfei, and Ningguang when playing with Furina. And then try to spam charged attack on them as much as possible. But then Vortex Vanquisher is not a good 5-star option. Spoiler alert, Zhongli's signature weapon is not even good on him. It's not a good option for Zhongli as a shielder because he wants HP. It's not even a good option for him as a DPS because 1, his DPS option are kinda ass, and 2, there's so much more polearms that's better for him as a DPS. Basically any great polearm 5-star. Now, actually in contrary to what other people say, it is not worthless. People often dunk on this weapon and say that it's nothing. I don't think that's very truthful either. So if you're gonna look at the stat, I'm not saying that Hook Gravestone is a great weapon, but it's a decent weapon. So look, Hook Gravestone giving around 600 attack, base attack with 49 attack percent. Vortex Vanquisher giving 600 attack and 49 attack percent. Hook Gravestone gives 20% attack and then about 40% more attack for the team. Okay, 60% attack. This weapon is giving 4% attack at 5 stacks, so 20% attack and increases by 100%, so 40% attack. It's like kind of a step below Hook Gravestone, but it's not terrible. It is similar to a Skyward Spine in terms of power. Obviously, the substats are not similar. So you can think losing to this weapon is similar to losing to a standard banner weapon. It's not the best, not the worst. It's decent plus. It's gonna be fine on Alikino, Emily, Raiden, Shenhe, Xiao, all the 4-star options. This bow is worthless. It's a physical attacking bow, it's a physical boosting bow. Do not get it. 5 sword. Do you need me to tell you more at this point? Good. Favonius great sword. Good. Wait, Timmy. Did you just rate Noblet's weapon good minus and then rate some 4-star weapons good? Yes. And that's not just any 4-star weapon. That's Favonius. It's good. Maybe I was a little bit harsh on Noblet's weapon. It could be borderline good, I guess. Tomato. But Favonius, that's every support's wet dream, baby. Dragon's Bane is a niche weapon option. It is good on Raiden Hyper Bloom. It is kind of decent plus on Hu Tao, Xiangling, and Rosaria Melt. And finally, the Sacrificial Fragment, the book right here, is also a niche weapon. It is decent plus for Sucrose, Nahida, and Barbara or Kokomi when played in a Nilu's Bloom team. Overall, this weapon banner, decent plus. Only pull on this if you really want the Noblet's weapon. Weapon banner, is it worth it to pull for the 4-star? I am actually also considering it. I am actually considering pulling for Favonius Sword and Favonius Great Sword. When you pull for a 4-star, at least make sure that the Tome of Eternal Flow, so Noblet's signature weapon, is at least useful on someone on your account. So it's not a total waste, because getting a 4-star option is not guaranteed, and we may need to spend a lot of pulls on here. It is a valid option because 2 of these weapons, the 5 weapons, are good, and potentially the Dragon's Bane with Sacrificial Fragment can be potentially good if you have the characters for it on your account. And that will be it for the 5.2 Phase 2 banners. Let me just summarize it real quick. Newbie is a good plus character. Zhongli is a good minus character. Because the banners do not have very synergistic 4 stars to the 5 stars, so overall banner value will go down. Newbie's banner, good minus. Zhongli's banner, decent plus. Weapon banner, decent plus. I wish you the best of luck when pulling on these banners. Timmy's Bird out.